Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Welcome to the Sports Betting Show. I'm the Philly Godfather from thephillygodfather.com. And we got a jam-packed show today. We're going to be giving out a lot of legendary action. We got my friend Dave Mason coming on from Bet Online, my insider offshore in Costa Rica. And let me introduce the lineup real quick. Jamie, the real Jamie Gold, World Series of Poker champion, one of the sharpest sports bettors and gamblers I know. Jamie, what's going on, brother?
Oh, I'm just so excited to be here with you all. What a great few first weeks we've had. We've given out so many winners, teaching people how to be better bettors, sharpest information, early movers. You guys are the originators. I'm just so glad to be here. We are on channel 159 on Sirius XM, Sports Grid, and JAKIB Media. We're now officially on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and we will be on Twitter and Instagram coming soon. So, I don't know what you want to talk about first, but please.
We can talk about the LSU bet, but let me introduce the man, the myth, the legend, Jimmy the Sheep Batista.
Good
Jimmy,
evening, family and friends.
You ready to fire?
I'm ready to fire. We're going to talk about some games from last week, boys.
And we got one of the originators at the phillygodfather.com, Matt Maltepis from the College Kids. You can find him at Matt Maltepis or at TCK_. Matt, you ready to go?
I'm always ready to go.
All right, let's go, man. We all buried LSU last week, -9, -9.5. There was actually some sharp money on the other side, but Jamie, we talked about it. It was just one of the easier wagers we placed last weekend. And moving forward, I know Matt had a future on LSU. I mean, how do you think this team, do you think they bounce back 2 weeks in a row? They've outperformed the market. They covered a 56-point spread against Grambling, and then last week, 9.5. That was easy pickings. Do you think this team can come back and maybe compete or get in the playoffs, Matt?
So, yes, I really do. When we look at that first game against Florida State that everyone wrote them off with, look at the box score, man. That first half, it was an even game at half. The second half, there were some coaching adjustments that LSU didn't make, right? But in the box score, they matched them mark for mark in every category, whether it was yards per play. It didn't matter. They matched them. Now, obviously, they lost by double digits, but it wasn't indicative of what the true team was about. And we saw that in the last 2 weeks. Now they're 2-1 against the spread. And we released a huge burial on LSU. We even told you right on this show last week to go bet an alternate spread, and that cashed. So pay attention to this LSU team.
Well, I didn't win that bet because I said late 28 the game to late 27. So I didn't win every bet, but that was pretty close.
Yeah, moving forward, I just think it's going to be so difficult. It's kind of like cashing an 8-team parlay. If you're looking for LSU to make the playoffs, they got to play flawless down the stretch. They're going to have to win their next 9 games. It's just going to be so difficult, man. I don't know if they get in the playoffs, but if they keep rolling, and that game in the middle of the season against Alabama, it's going to be a tough one as well. So we'll see what happens. Matt, this is one of those weeks where there's a lot of marquee games on the board. Is there any move that you like more than others, so we can go right off the bat and start firing and giving the people what they want?
Well, let's talk about Florida State Clemson, man. Look at that game. We look at Clemson when they versed Duke. They didn't score much in that game, but you look at the yardage. I mean, they put up 400-plus yards. The only reason they didn't put up a plethora of points was because of the turnovers. And they've corrected that the last 2 weeks, and they're looking sharper. And that Florida State defense, their offense, they have that gas on the pedal, but their defense has been looking a little shaky. We saw that last week against Boston, right? So I really do like the over here. We went over 54.
Jimmy, is there any move you like this week in college football that you want to fire on right away for everyone listening out there on Sirius XM, on Sports Grid at JAKIB Sports?
Yeah, there are a couple that I really like. I think my favorite play is Mississippi State taking the 7 against Alabama. I still think Alabama's still overrated, and so I just don't love what I'm seeing from them. I mean, they're ranked 116th in passing. They have a run game, but they don't have any run defense. They get so much credit just for being alive, right? Just for being Alabama. And so I don't think that they are the best team every year necessarily. And so in certain games, especially in this spot, I love going the other way last week. I'm going against them again this week. I really believe that Mississippi State getting 7 is a really good spot. I don't know if Mississippi State's going to win, but I wouldn't be that shocked if they did. And so taking 7 right here, that might be my favorite play of the week in college football.
Yeah, with Milroe back in the lineup for Alabama, I think they move the ball more efficiently on offense. I think we see an uptick in scoring from the Crimson Tide. I actually like the over here, over 55. I think both teams can put points on the board. I mean, if you look at Alabama's offense, I think they're better than Tulane and Georgia Tech, and they, both put up 20 and 23 against Mississippi. So I think we see some points here in this one. Matt, you like the over here? You like a side?
I do. I mean, as you just pointed out, Georgia Tech and those other teams put up 20 and 23. Now you're versus Alabama, and last week, obviously, it was a whole different handicap because you had different quarterbacks. Now Milroe's back. We saw what he did the first week and whatnot. The guy is obviously better than these other guys. So now that offense should be a little more efficient. And with that efficiency comes more points. And I like the over here.
All right. Sheep, you got an opinion real quick?
What number are you taking it at? Over
55.
Over 55. And then on Clemson, you had over
54.
54, yeah.
All right, well, we got a jam-packed show. Dave Mason's going to be coming on. He's going to break down the sharp side, the square side of each and every college football game. Make sure you guys stay tuned, and we're going to be right back.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Welcome back to the Sports Betting Show. I'm the Philly Godfather from the PhillyGodfather.com. And before we start giving out more legendary action and moves, we're talking a little bit about Sheep's Georgia and the championship odds, future bets. As of right now, Georgia's odds basically the same, plus 230, 250-ish. Michigan dropped down to 400. We got tickets on them at plus 900 to win it all. Texas is down to 1, down 10 to 1. I know Maddie from the College Kids and Bobby have them at 25 to 1. Ohio State's at 10 to 1. Florida State's down to 12 to 1. USC, that nobody's really, no one thinks they can beat the powerhouses, but they're down to 14 to 1. Penn State's at 16 to 1. Notre Dame, surprisingly, down to 16 to 1. Washington with Michael Penix, who's a Heisman Trophy hopeful, down to 28 to 1. And LSU at 30 to 1. If you still think they got a shot, I mean, you're getting a much better number now. Let me go to Sheep real quick. Sheep, you think anyone's beating this Georgia team with that soft schedule?
You know what? I was a little skeptical that watching that first half last week that something was wrong, but I think their defense locked down, and I think they'll be fine for the rest of the year. I do want to get back to that Alabama game, and I know Jamie likes a dog, but this is Bama and over this week.
Bama and over? We got opposition.
All the farm animals will be on Bama and the over.
We know what happened last time when you went against Jamie, though. It didn't work out too good.
Okay, listen.
I'm not going to beat Sheep very often, but I did have a good one last week.
It's a long season. We're going to be going back and forth, having some fun. Let me go to Jamie. Jamie, you still feel comfortable with that Michigan future, Texas, or do you think any team can come in here and sneak in there and maybe beat those teams moving forward?
I still, yeah, certainly, there might be a loss between them in there, but I still like those futures. I'm really excited about. We've talked about LSU and now we're talking about Texas. I really like this teaser of taking LSU and Texas together this week. You can get Texas at teased to 8 and LSU at 11. And so, I didn't love what I saw from Arkansas last week. I was on them and just was really disappointing. And I think LSU, is going to handle them. And I really like Texas. I just, I don't like giving that big number. But I think if you can get Texas down to 8, LSU at 11, I like that play.
Now, let me go to Matty from the college kids. Matt, with Penix tearing it up for Washington at 28-1, if they can go in there and beat USC, do you think this team offers some value? Maybe if they get in the playoffs, you can hedge the other side, or you think they're not good enough?
Well, it's possible, and especially when you look at the margin of victory that team has had. I mean, it's top notch. So definitely a possibility. But what I really want to talk about is Texas. They took out Alabama team that we're all been talking about, and they actually didn't just beat them, but they beat them convincingly. They should have actually won by 13 because they missed an easy 3-point field goal. And I think this Texas team has a shot. I mean, we have a future on them, and we also have a future on the Heisman for Ewers. So I'm really high on Texas this year.
All right, let's go. Let's talk a little bit about the conference winners, who we think is going to win the conference. ACC, SEC, the Big 12. We'll start out with Georgia. Right now, they're currently minus 120. Basically a cakewalk schedule. Ole Miss is probably the only team left on their schedule that can probably hang around a little bit. Jimmy, you think anyone can take it away from Georgia here? Would you lay the 120 right now?
No, I don't.
That's the money side right there. They're just too strong.
Too strong, too powerful.
Jamie, you think anyone in the SEC can take down Georgia here?
I mean, it's certainly possible. We'll see. I agree with Jimmy. There was watching that first half last week. You were getting concerned, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not ready to go against them necessarily. I'm going to see week by week how it's going. I didn't think their number was high enough to take them, preseason. But it's a wait and see for me.
Maddie, LSU right now plus 340, Alabama plus 450. I don't think anyone's looking to jump on Alabama here. I mean, South Florida gave them a problem last week. And moving forward, I mean, the Ole Miss game is going to be a battle. When they play LSU, I mean, they're supposed to be 7-point favorites, but I think that number is going to come in a little short when they play each other. And Kentucky on the road won't be that easy either. Are you looking to invest any money in LSU right now at the current prices or Alabama? Your volume.
Alabama does give me some concern.
Hello,
can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
So Alabama, I mean, last week in the first half, there was a cause for concern. I mean, honestly, the whole game. But anytime a team gives me a cause for concern, I have to pause and reflect, and I have to wait to be able to invest in that team because that's where my money is, and I'm not going to put my money somewhere that I'm concerned with. So definitely a cause for concern, and I don't want to touch Alabama right now.
All right, let's move to the ACC real quick. As of right now, Florida State basically even money. This week, they're a 2.5 point favorite over Clemson, but they're limping in there and they're banged up. Maddie, do you think Clemson might have a shot of beating this team this week as 2-point dogs? I mean, Florida State is a little banged up here moving forward.
I do think Clemson has a shot, but I'm waiting for that 3 to pop up so I can take that 3, that key number. It's so important. But, yeah, no, I really do believe they have a shot to win here. And not only win, but, I mean, we look last year, they beat them by, I believe, 6 points but on the road. But Florida State's defense, they're looking a little suspect. I said that earlier. And we saw that last week with Boston College.
They had problems with Boston College last week. They could have blew that.
Major problems. Major problems. And not only that, but look at their opponent yards per play. Look at the opponent yards per pass attempt and completion. It's a cause for concern. This Clemson team is going to come in, and they're looking for blood.
Yeah, they're tough to beat at home. So right now, Clemson's plus 400 to win the ACC. Jamie, you feel like putting any money on them? You think Florida State fades a little bit after starting off so hot against that LSU team? You think there's any value there at plus 400?
Not for me. I'm staying off I'm staying off these teams for now. I didn't like what I saw in the first game from Clemson. They're maybe back in form, but between these two teams, I'm staying away from it. It's a pass for me.
Yeah, and the other teams, you got Miami at plus 800 this week. They're 24-point favorites in Philly against Temple. I think they might blow Temple out. North Carolina plus 900. I mean, what they open up 6.5. The line went to 7.5 against the Panthers. Duke at plus 1,100. I mean, they did they did beat Clemson. Matt, you think Duke's got a shot here to maybe win the ACC at all?
I don't know about the Duke team. I mean, last year they had a lot of turnover luck. And this year, we'll see what happens as the season progresses, but I don't really see it. I don't believe they're strong enough. They did beat Clemson that first week, but if you look at the box score, like I said, the whole game was Clemson shooting themselves in the foot. I don't see that.
I agree with Matty. Clemson beat themselves. I mean, Duke played a great game. I mean, we're not talking about basketball here. We're talking about football. Let's get something straight.
Oh, that's where we are.
We got another, discussion, but.
Well,
Coach K is coaching.
Yeah, Louisville at plus 1,200. I mean, they're 14-point favorites against Boston College this week, and Boston College gave that state team a run for the money. You think they come out of nowhere and maybe surprise some people, Louisville, Matt?
So I did at the beginning of the season talk about how this team was a little underrated and a bit of a sleeper team. I mean, it's possible, obviously, 12-1, but I mean, they have an O-line that's underrated. I said that at the beginning of the season. I'll say that again. Coming into the season, no one was talking about their O-line. So I definitely think it's a possibility. I mean, we saw Boston College give Florida State a running, and look what Louisville is doing.
All right. We're going to go to the Big 12 Conference next, but we're running short a little bit on time. We got about 20 seconds left. So I just want to remind everyone to catch us on Sirius XM channel 159, Sports Grid, JAKIB Sports. Follow us on Twitter at Philly Godfather, at Real Jamie Gold, at Barry the Right Number, and at Matt Maltepis from the College Kids. And we're going to come right back and give out some more legendary sports betting winners.
Amen.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Welcome back to the Sports Betting Show. I'm the Philly Godfather from thephillygodfather.com, and we're talking about the Big 12 Conference next. Odds right now, Texas at minus 115 to win it. This week they opened up 4.5. Now it's up to 6 against a tough West Virginia team coming off a big win versus Pitt last week. Oklahoma, who's smoking everyone to start the year, they're 3-0 with a point differential of plus 139. They're at plus 240. They might surprise some people if Texas falls off a little bit. Kansas State at plus 750. Gritty team. I just don't think they got enough to get there. Texas Tech at 20-1 and UCF at 22-1. Matt, let me go first to Matt. Matt, I know you got big futures on Texas to win it all, to win the conference. Is Oklahoma making you a little nervous here? I mean, they've come out the gate smoking hot, a plus 139, point differential on the season. They opened up 13.5 against Cincinnati this week. The line's up to 14.5, so there's definitely some sharp money on them. Do they give you any cause for concern moving forward?
They do a little bit. I mean, the margin of victory, just as you said, I believe they're number one in the nation. And if you look at against the spread plus minus, they're up there as well. So definitely got to, look at them as a threat. But I still love this Texas team. I said that before, and I'll say it again.
Yeah, let me go to Jamie. Jamie, I mean, Oklahoma's going to play Texas in 3 weeks. And that's going to be – I think that's going to be a battle. Whoever, and that's what it's going to come down to. You think Oklahoma has any shot against this Texas team, or are they just too big, too strong, too fast?
Yeah, I don't want to give an opinion on it yet. I'm actually looking at Oklahoma State, and I saw something interesting in this game coming up this weekend. You can get them if you can get them under 14, but the maximum I would lay is 14. But I like Oklahoma State this week. I think that's going to be another another pick besides. I'm very excited when we start talking about Colorado, but I'll try to be patient. I'm just so excited.
Calm down, Jamie. Calm down.
Is that Oklahoma State game a burial? Is it
I just
play? Is it a value play? I mean, how are you looking to bet it?
I'm just taking the side. I'm just taking Oklahoma State -14. I really like what I'm seeing from them. I think, their offense is really explosive. I don't see them getting stopped a lot. So I don't I don't want to give much more than 14, but I'll give 14 on Oklahoma State.
All right, let's move on to the next game that it seems like the whole public's watching and betting every week on Colorado. They win again, but they lose Travis Hunter in the process. You guys think they're going to be the same without him? Or do you guys think, you're going to see a little regression on this team going forward? Go ahead, Jamie.
Okay, so
he's got his hands up. I feel like we're in school.
I know. I'm just so excited.
Well, you know what? Sheep don't know nothing about that because I don't think he went to class at all. So
Jimmy,
we were
some of
shooting
you were right on
blackjack.
Jimmy and some of you others were right on about last week that number was way too high that they were giving, and I think I'm not trying to take them on the side Colorado this week, but I do think that I like teasing the game where I'll give 14 and over 64. I think that there are going to be a lot of points scored in this game. I don't love the 71 number. But if you can get it down to 14 and 64, I think Travis is a huge loss and it has a big impact as a dual-sided player. But I think Shedeur will have a decent I'm sorry. I think Colorado's going to get beat by at least 14. If not, I think they'll probably get beat by 20. But I don't want to give 21.
Yeah, well, the line originally opened up 17. It's up to 21. So a lot of the value has been extracted. Anything over 21, you might be looking to bet Colorado here. If it gets to 24, to me, that's really the magic number, Jamie, if you're looking to bet the dog. But like you said, if you're looking –
I'm not. I apologize. I wasn't – I was
I heard you. I know you're looking to bet the favorite here and tease them down, which might not be a bad move,
Yeah, I like taking Oregon and 14 and 64, but I think the Colorado's going to put up some numbers, and more than what the kind of the odds makers are saying. I think that they'll put up enough to get it to near that 70 number.
Yeah, let me go to Matt. Matt, you feel the same way? You think Colorado gets hurt here, gets blown out against a tough Oregon team with the Heisman Trophy hopeful and Bo Nix, or do you think they can stay around and maybe win the game outright?
Well, this Colorado team did lose Travis, right, Hunter, but no one's talking about how much he means to this team. I mean, he was 35-1 to win a Heisman just a week ago, and on top of that, he's a two-way player that's a dual threat, cornerback, receiver. It's not – you don't have a star of that caliber usually playing both sides like that. So it definitely is a cause for concern. Their defense is a cause for concern. Obviously, their offense is spectacular. They have all the speed in the world, can hang with Oregon. But Oregon is number 2 in margin of victory, I believe. Or if not, they're up there. I don't have my notes in front of me. But so it definitely is a cause for concern. I mean, you saw that line go from 17 to 21. But as you said, the line has been extracted in value from 17 to 21. So I didn't touch it. I hate laying a big number like that, especially
against Dion, right? I mean, the only thing if you look at take Colorado here, all the squares, I don't want to call them, all the recreational sports bettors are going to be on Colorado again this week. And with that said, we got Dave Mason ready to jump on to give out all the sharp and square action from Bet Online. Dave, you there? I guess not. All right, we'll wait for him to jump back on. But, Matty, go ahead. I'll let you finish that thought.
So, yes, what was I saying specifically?
Colorado.
I lost my train of thought.
And they were talking about all the squares betting Colorado this week. I mean, they're going to bet them each and every week until, they stop, winning or covering the spread. I think they've become such a public favorite, especially with prime time. Everyone you talk to, that's all they're talking about is Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders and how this team is shocking the world. You think there's any way they cover the spread?
So that's the cause for concern for me with laying the big number on the favorite, the backdoor cover, because they're going to be able to put up points. They can match anyone on offense. The problem is their defense, like I said, and Jamie's on the teaser on the over. You know, I don't dislike it. I don't like teasing totals personally, but I do think they're going to put up some points in this one. So make sure to look at Jamie's teaser.
Jimmy, when it comes to Colorado, are you looking to back him here, or are you looking to fade him against in this?
I'm a duck. I am a duck. I was against Colorado last week for my lungs. I love Colorado State, and this week, them losing Hunter, the sexy part of the game is out. Now it's time for real football. This is a real football team they're playing. So, I mean, the number came up 17. It went straight to 19, and you know, I'm hoping they play the dog because I'll lay 20 on this game.
And
I don't have a problem at all.
Bo Nix isn't your average quarterback. I mean, he put up 29 touchdowns last season.
They're going into Oregon. This is a bigger game for Oregon than it is for Colorado. I'm sorry. They need to make a statement. Put this kid to bed.
Plus, Oregon is 3-0 against the spread. The market's undervalued them the first 3 weeks of the season.
Big statement game for Oregon this week.
Yeah, I think it's a big problem for Colorado. I mean, you're going up against Bo Nix. It's also reflective in the price. I mean, you've seen that line move 4 points. It's a huge move in college football, ain't it, Jimmy?
It's extremely big. Yeah, but see, that's a funny thing. We talk about that. It was up, but then a lot of the offshore markets and a lot of even the Vegas casinos, they weren't taking full odds. So now it's Thursday night, and everyone's coming up to full odds. So now you're going from Thursday to Sunday. That's your real number that's out there. It's great, and I'll say, yeah, I laid 17 on the game, and they got 300.
Yeah, soft limits. Yeah, you got soft limits.
You got soft limits. The real money starts tonight through Saturday, and I'm hoping that some of the groups play the dog because I love Oregon in this situation. I'm a duck.
Coming on Oregon.
Dave, are you on?
I'm on. Can you hear me or no?
Dr. Dave Mason.
You guys can hear me now? Or what? What's
Yeah,
going on?
hear you, brother.
I'm pressing every damn button trying to get this mic to work. I've been listening to guys. I've been listening. I don't know. I must have been on mute or something. I got a new headset. It's put me in a stir over here. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I don't think our producer knew that, you can't be seen on camera. There's never been a picture taken of you. There's never no video of you. You're the man behind the scenes in Costa Rica, right?
I am the man behind the curtain with it, like Oz, the little midget sitting behind a curtain. That's all. I don't want. Y'all can use your imagination, What I mean?
Exactly. You remind me of Charlie from Charlie's Angels.
Yeah,
the best thing is a back shot of you on the phone.
You start getting some hot women on this thing, and I'll start turning my camera on. But whatever.
All right, let's pop this party off real quick. Florida State at Clemson. Where'd the line opening up at? Where's it at? Is there any sharp money on the side or a total? Who are the squares betting? And is there any big wagers on this game down there?
Like Florida State at Clemson. We opened a pick 'em, I believe, got bet pretty quick. Clemson is now getting 2. The cash is 50-50. 80% of the bets are on Florida State, though, so that cash will be skewed in Florida State's side big time. That's you guys are talking about the early cash you had, but so much of the action, 80% of the action is yet to come in. More than that, probably. And we're talking it's Thursday now. So, 80 to 90% of the action yet to come in. So the cash at 50-50, that's kind of, there's just not enough of that to make a judgment there. But 80% of the bets are on FSU. So that tells me more that, we're going to be big Clemson fans. We did see a little bit of sharp action at Clemson plus 2.5, over 55.5. So yeah, 68% of the cash is on the over as well. So yeah, we're going to get Clemson in the under come Saturday. It's going to be there's a lot. It's going to be one of the biggest bet games of the day too. I mean, this Saturday's card is awesome, man. But this will get us started early, and there'll be a lot of those early games get out so much action because people had the money in their account and they bet those early games and they just.
All right, Dave, hold that thought. We'll be right back with some more action for you guys.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Welcome back to the Sports Betting Show. I'm the Philly Godfather from thephillygodfather.com, and we're currently talking to Dave Mason from Bet Online. We're breaking down the Florida State-Clemson game. Sorry to cut you off earlier, Dave.
All good.
But, yeah, you can keep going. Is there any really big bets on Florida State, and do you guys have huge liabilities on them to win the national championship this year as well?
Yeah, I mean, as far as huge liabilities, they're definitely one of our top liabilities to win a national champion. But I mean, as far as big bets for Saturday, I'm looking here. I mean, our 4 biggest bets. I mean, the bigger bets are yet to come in, but the 4 biggest bets are on Clemson. I mean, shoot, 7 out of the top 8 biggest bets are on Clemson, so that kind of tells you a little bit something there too, right? Like I said, the bet counts on Florida State, volumes, chop.
It's not rocket science, right?
Wink, wink. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, let's move to Colorado at Oregon. Is the public still all over this team early in the week? I mean, are they betting Oregon? Who are they betting here? Is any sharp money on either side or total?
Shoot, these games are incredible, man. These Colorado games. This is like, I work a lot on the marketing side of things, and stories like this is just a marketer's dream. We've been calling it for months, had all sorts of crazy markets on Colorado. The fact that they're starting 3-0 just compounds that from a marketing perspective. But yeah, as far as the cash is concerned, the early cash, 54% of the cash is on Colorado. 64% of the bets are on Colorado, getting 21. We took some sharp on Oregon, 20.5 and better. But it's the big sweat here is going to be that money line. I mean, everybody's lining up for a lot of those plus 650 lottery tickets. Everybody just bets a few bucks to win a big amount on those, and that's going to be the big liability. But not too worried about it. But if it does hit, it's going to be it'll probably if that hits, it would be the biggest loss on a market for any college football game in history at Bet Online, maybe minus some national championship game. I can't. It's really not in my head which games we lost big on, but it's going to be massive, that liability. And the futures market there, you're talking futures. I mean, it is crazy how much we're in the red on Colorado. Put it this way. The Tom Brady Buccaneers was the biggest loss for us ever for a team's future.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, shout out there, buddy. that was our biggest team future loss in the history of Bet Online. And the liability now on Colorado, again, they're a long shot. It ain't going to happen, but still, just for
So basically, people are just betting them blindly, money line on the spread. I know the regular season win total opened up at 3.5. It's been adjusted to 6.5. Are you seeing a lot of action on that as well, too?
No, not too much. I mean, we didn't. You don't see a lot of action on those college football win totals, and we do need the under. We're going to lose that, but it's peanuts what we're going to lose on that. But that national championship and the Pac-12 and all that stuff, it's through the roof. And again, it ain't going to happen, but it's interesting. I mean, that red number is about 3 times of what that Buccaneers number was a few years back. Wow. So it's crazy, man. Everybody's placing lottery tickets. 100 to 1, 200 to 1. It doesn't take a lot of bets just to run up that number, and everybody's betting this Colorado team. They're enamored with it. The story.
Let me go. Dave, that sounds like balloons right there.
Every Colorado bet you can this week.
We are. We have.
We have.
No,
I'll take some action if you want to hedge some more.
No, that's all right. That's all right. We actually have a special today. We one of our markets, we have a Bet Online Prime Day, so we have all sorts of. We got about 500 to 1 right now, and people are betting the hell out of them. It's the one guy just looking at it. He's going bang. He says, "Look at this number." I'm like, "Dude, relax. We're fine. We're fine." And one buddy came with the idea. It's like, "I'll work for free the next 10 years if it hits."
That's awesome. All right, let's move on to Ole Miss versus Alabama. People still betting Bama blindly after they look. I mean, they didn't look too well last week. How's the action moving on this game?
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss is the public side. What is it about? Let me see here. About 67% is on. About 61% is on is on Ole Miss. So, the public, people jump on those bandwagons quick and they jump off those bandwagons quick, man. And, recency bias and all that. And we all know that Bama quarterback situation and what the hell's going on there. But yeah, we're going to need Bama. We're going to need Bama on Saturday. Like I said, about 61% of the actions on Ole Miss.
Did you guys move off that key number? 7 is down to 6.5.
Yeah, it's 6.5 again. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next big game on the board. Ohio State versus the Fighting Irish. I mean, the Fighting Irish defense has surprised some people. They're one of the better defensive teams in the country. Which way is the public betting this one? Is there any sharp money on the side or the total here?
Yeah, it's Notre Dame's the public side. Let's see here.
They're always the public side, ain't they?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, but I mean, you're talking against Ohio State. Ohio State's a public team too, so it's battle of two humongous public teams. But Notre Dame getting 3 at home. I mean, that's definitely going to get bet.
I thought that line was short 3, man. I expected Ohio State to be a little bit of a bigger favorite.
I thought it had been about 7 or 8.
Wow. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of cheap, ain't it? I don't know. That seems so cheap.
Yeah, man, we opened 3 and it went up to 3.5, and then we actually took a little bit of sharp action on Irish at plus 3.5. Not a lot, but a little bit. That moved it back down to 3, and then and sharps really haven't made a play here, bet online yet. But as the limits raise, somebody might lay that 3. So yeah, as of now, we're going to need the Buckeyes, and that'll be a big game. I mean, Saturday night, God, those two programs going at it. I don't think it's going to be a huge liability, but we'll need Ohio State, I believe.
I know, Jamie, one of your biggest wagers ever was against Notre Dame. Are you looking to fade this team again this week against the Buckeyes?
So far, I'm staying off of it. I'm just really not sure where these two teams match up, how they match up. In general, I do think that the big public money comes in on Notre Dame a lot because they believe that there is some higher power behind them.
They keep saying
but I think that it has much more of an effect when they're in the finals.
So the higher power likes Notre Dame less than Ohio State. Is that what these people think?
Well, no, likes Notre Dame more.
Well, like Notre Dame. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah, it's,
I did notice the local cable companies were playing that movie Rudy a lot this week. Even more amped up.
Who's paying them to keep playing that movie?
The Golden Dome has a closer relationship with the man above. So, I think that there's still some of that effect. But in general, Ohio State gets so much respect. So I think it kind of cancels out for this week. So I'm not on the game right now.
Matt, did you fire anyone on this matchup yet or no?
I went over 54 here early, small. But when we look at Ohio State and Notre Dame, they haven't versed the most quality of opponents. So I stood away from the side. Ohio State, top 10 offense. Notre Dame this year so far, top 10 offense. Ohio State was number 1 in the nation in yards per play, I believe, last year. This year, when we look at opponent yards per play for their opponents, Ohio State versus Western Kentucky, which was ranked, I believe, 40th last year.
They put up a ton of points.
And they put up 63 on them. Yeah. And then on the Notre Dame side, they versed NC State last year, which was, I believe, 33rd in opponent yards per play. And they put up 40, I believe, 43, something along those lines.
So you're betting the over. You just bet the over.
Over 54 here, small.
All right, let me go back to Dave Mason from Bet Online, and you can find him at Dave Mason BOL. Is that what it is on Twitter, Dave?
That's it, man.
Yeah, let's go to Texas at Baylor. I mean, which way is the sharp money coming in on this one? Is there any big bets on either side or the total here?
We got some two-way sharp, nothing big. Texas laying 14.5, open 16.5. The money's choppy there. 54% on Texas, 57% of the bettors are on the Longhorns. Nothing sharp in the total as of yet. Bettors are on the under. 73% is on the under. 49 at open 50.5.
After Texas beat Alabama, did you see a huge influx of money coming in on those futures? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, whenever something like that happens, absolutely. people just pile in on Sunday when those numbers open back up.
Yeah. What are you guys back to 10-1 on them to win it all? Texas?
Yeah, I think so. Let me check that out. But yeah, I believe that's 10-1.
Yeah. All right, let me go to the next game real quick. North Carolina at Pitt. Is anyone betting this game yet? I know it's still early in the week.
Not a lot of volume. Yeah, not a lot of volume on that game yet. It's a late game, and it's not as high profile as the Ohio State game. Early money's 50-50, but the bettors, 67% of early bettors are on UNC. They're laying 7.5, open 6.5. Did take some sharp action on UNC at 6.5, over 49.5. And 81% of the early actions on the over. But that just not a lot of volume met on this game, so it's hard to really determine either way.
Yeah. What are the biggest bets this week in college football? I mean, what so far? I know it's early in the week, but who are you getting hammered with? Where's the most action at?
Well, the most actions, games we talked about. that Colorado game by far is getting the most action. The Clemson game's getting the most action, and followed up by the Ohio State game. But it's Thursday, so like I said, 80 to 90% of the action is yet to come in. A lot of games like, what's the Air Force San Jose State? That has good volume on it. It's taking some big bets on San Jose State, San Jose State, and some Air Force. So a little bit of sharp action there on Air Force, I believe. So games like that this early, games you wouldn't expect getting the most volume, have some pretty big volume. Like that game has more volume right now than Florida State Clemson, but by Saturday, no, Florida State Clemson will absolutely dwarf it.
Any sharp money on this Georgia State Coastal Carolina on the over maybe or a total?
Let me check here. I gotta let me check here. Wait, is that what you're on over there?
Yeah, we got a couple bucks on the over here, first half and full game.
We haven't seen much. No, we haven't seen. Actually, yeah, we have some on Coastal Carolina. It looks like, and the under, yeah. Coincidentally enough, Coastal Carolina.
Before we wrap up this segment, man, I want to thank you for coming on. I want you to let everyone know where to find you, and is there any special, promo deals going on at BetOnline right now?
Yeah, man, at Dave Mason BOL on Twitter. Head over to betonline.ag. We have hit the promos page for all our bonuses. 100% bonus if you're loading up with crypto. 50% for other methods. Like I said, we have that BetOnline Prime Day. It's ending in about 2 hours. So if you want to go bet Colorado at 500 to 1, that's a $25 bet. That's a $12,500 profit. Get on over at betonline.ag.
Than's for coming on, Dave. And listen, next time you come to Philly, we got to hang out. I missed you 2 times. Come on.
Yeah, man, we will. Absolutely. I don't get up there often, but next time, without a doubt. Thanks guys.
On, Dave. Appreciate it.
Let's go, Doc.
There we go. Let's do it. Quack, quack.
My man.
All right, the next segment, we're going to talk a little bit Heisman odds. But that pretty much wraps up this segment. We've got about 15 seconds left. I just want to thank Dave for coming on. BetOnline, one of the better sports books out there, one of the more reputable ones. I wager with them. I know Sheep does and Maddie does. And I don't know. I'm not sure if Jamie, you bet with them or not?
I have.
Yeah, they're one of the better ones. All right, so stay tuned. We're going to come back with more legendary action.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Welcome back to the Sports Betting Show. I'm the Philly Godfather from thephillygodfather.com. And before we go to the Golden Recap, Matt, is there any game you want to give out real quick? You don't have to have a big breakdown. I know I like Clemson here. If you can get them at +3 is great. I like them at +2.5 and on the money line. Is there anyone you like?
Well, I talked about the Clemson over, and then I also talked about taking Clemson +3. Those are 2 games that I'm looking to take this week.
All right, cool. Jamie, Golden Recap, you ready to go?
Yes. Here is your golden recap for the week in college football. So Matt likes the over on Clemson at 54. Alabama and over for Philly Godfather at 55. Alabama at 55, sorry, just the over from the Philly Godfather. Bama and the over from Jimmy. Texas tease it down to 8 on a 7-point teaser, and LSU 10.5 from me. We talked about futures that we're still in good shape on most of them. Matt will take +3 in the Clemson game if it gets there. I like Oklahoma State -14, and I really like going against Alabama, taking the 7 points. Colorado and Oregon, I like Oregon -14 and over 64 in a teaser.
You might as well put Oregon -21 on there for me too. This is the best defense Colorado is going to face all season. You got a Heisman quarterback in Bo Nix. I don't think they can hang around here. I think Oregon's +300. Yeah, put them on there.
PGF -21 on Oregon. Jimmy will give up to 20 at least on Oregon versus Colorado. Go Ducks. And over 54 on Notre Dame from Matt. He took a little bit of that early. It's 55.5 now. Matt, what would you go up to on the over on Notre Dame?
Well, once it hits that 56 number, 57, you got to stay off. But another one that I did have was that Alabama over 55. So add that to the list.
Okay.
Beautiful.
All right. That is our golden recap for the day.
Well, there you go. You got a bunch of moves. You got Dave Mason gave you which sides the sharps are on, which sides the recreational bettors are on. I want to thank everyone for listening on Sirius XM, on Sports Grid, and everyone for watching on JAKIB Sports Network on YouTube. We're going to live stream it also on Twitter a little later on in the day. And
now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
And stop by the PhillyGodfather.com for all your legendary sports betting information. Goodbye, guys.
Go Ducks!
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.